I like sites like this because it gives you access to many stories. And then you make your own judgment as to whether these stories are resonating with you or whether there are lessons that you can learn from those stories. But the important thing is that you read these stories and you learn to see life from all those different lenses. Telling those stories, I think especially with the older folk, there is a large element of wanting to leave a legacy, to know that you won't be forgotten after you're no longer here. And with sites like this, literally, you won't be forgotten after you're no longer here. You're going to be here for posterity. As long as the internet is up, you're going to be here forever. So if you're going to put your story out like this, then I think you've got to be ready and willing to accept judgment on that story. And I think that's part of the attraction. So you create a chance for people to talk, to debate, to discuss, to share, to learn, and ultimately draw their own conclusions from that story. So from a corporate perspective, I think stories are very powerful. A well-crafted story especially is very powerful. So sites like this, I think is popular because people, well, we at a very deep level, we all connect with stories. And we all know that everybody has a story. Not everybody can tell a good story, but everybody has a story. So sites like this help people who may not otherwise have a chance to tell the story or tell the story well. It helps them craft their story in a manner that makes it interesting for the people around them. I think that's why it's popular. For a different layer of society, or for people who have reached a stage in life where they've gone through certain things, they've gone through certain experiences, I think people just want to share so that people can take those experiences and those learnings and apply with them, or apply it in their lives. So in fact, in some of our communication classes, we tell them that if you want to start off a conversation, just ask a question about the other person. Instead of talking about yourself, you ask a question about the person will start telling you about themselves, they get more comfortable with the conversation, and the conversation sort of flies. You see, when you reach a certain level and you're pretty senior in an organization, you almost become an institution. And being in that position, sometimes you, whether you like it or not, become a little bit intimidating to the people around you. And people may try to avoid you. We've all heard stories of young interns who run away when the big bosses come walking by, and so on and so forth. So you may not have the chance to have deeper, intimate conversations on a one-on-one level. So if I learn to tell a good story, and I'm able to tell it en masse to as many people as I can in a situation that is not as intimidating as a one-on-one conversation, then people get an insight into what goes through my mind. They get an insight into what goes through the organizational culture. For example, we are energized, we believe in ourselves, we are innovative, and this is how we're going to innovate. And this is the reasons why we've been innovative all this while, and how we were born as an innovative organization. Now, if people start believing those stories because you've told them often enough, and because everybody in your organization tells those stories, then people start behaving in an innovative manner. In that sense, having a crafted story, I believe, is really important for an organization. That, and the fact that stories help you leave a legacy. Now, how does stories help you leave a legacy? Every organization, just like every person, has got a history, and that history has made the organization what it is today. So you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose your heritage of how you became who you are today, because that would be denying yourself. In your quest for improvement, in the quest to become the person that you want to be, or the organization that you want to be, you've also got to embrace who you were and how you became who you are today. And stories help us do that. I think for C-suites, our clients, the reason why senior management is coming to us and getting interested in storytelling is because at that level in an organization, at that level in life, most senior people are seen as pretty successful in their careers and in their lives, and so on and so forth. They then become mentors. They become mentors either by design, or they become mentors by accident because somebody chose them to be mentors. And for me, the main tool that a mentor has is the ability to tell good stories where the individual listening to those stories can pick up on life's lessons. So for a mentor, a collection of stories that people can learn from, a collection of stories that people can relate to, a collection of stories that people are intrigued by, that provides different perspectives, are very, very powerful. So speaking from an organizational perspective, from a C-suite perspective, these are stories that the CEO could be sharing with his successor or his potential successors, so that they can then learn from the things and the hardships or the good times that he's gone through, and therefore not have to go through that themselves. Or they could learn to see perspectives that they originally could not see, which will then benefit them when they step into his position later on. Big stories, big consistent stories, where you sort of sing the same tune but in 20 different ways. Now, I don't know if this makes sense, but the theme through your stories, if it's consistent but yet told differently, sends a really powerful message of consistency in terms of who you are and what you do, but yet keeps it fresh. So if you're able to tell stories like that at a C-suite level, then organizationally, they start to get a clearer understanding of things like vision, values, mission. Say integrity, which is a big value that a lot of organizations are promoting as their core values these days. How many times can you go and nag a person about having integrity? And the answer is not very many times before the guy starts to avoid you. But if you can tell stories about how integrity played a part in your life, tell integrity or how lack of integrity impacted you in your career, the little nitty-gritty details of what integrity looks like or what it doesn't look like, and you have all these various stories, then people build a picture and a story of what integrity actually is, rather than just one word. So, and that's what I mean by having a series of stories told in new, interesting manner with different perspectives, but still having a common theme, can provide a very powerful message out to the organization.